AskReddit by Z36X. What is something that Reddit users are often completely wrong about? Usually wrong about relationships, money, careers. Could go either way: religion, paranormal, politics. Usually right about hobby stuff, technical stuff, pets. Reddit is extremely helpful with hobbies and interests. Reddit is extremely harmful if it's your only source of opinions and political views. Everything is black and white to most Redditors. Someone is either all bad or all good. Something is either worth doing or not worth doing. Relationships are either 100% worth having or 100% not worth having. Life is in the gray. That's just how it is. When I talk about the baggage my mom left me, I get comments that she's a horrible person that didn't deserve me. Slow down, Morris. She was a good mom, just with a lot of baggage herself, which heavily influenced her decisions and impacted my life. Just because these behaviors are pretty clear now doesn't mean they were 20 years ago. The law. This one, especially. Bunch of dumbasses who have never taken a class or talked to a lawyer think they know the law from watching TV and talking to friends who have also never taken a class or talked to a lawyer. Relationships, mainly how quickly you should end them. Real estate. Objection. Dump your wife, fire your attorney, and fuck your realtor. The prosecution rests. I don't blame Reddit for its ignorance. Half of the Reddit users that comment are idealistic teenagers that don't have any clue as to how anything in the real adult world works. I'm just here to make jokes. I remember unfollowing a business subreddit some time ago because I would offer up my insights and anecdotes from working in a business, and being constantly told that I am wrong and linked to texts and studies that are not at all represented in the business world. Idealistic, I think, is a good word. After some time, I realized the sub was likely kids in business school, with no actual experience, and went back to making poop jokes and stupid puns that only amuse me. Someone told me today that the study of art and or humanities is useless. Lots of strongly worded shitty opinions being lauded as fact. Probably spoken by someone who spends all their time watching cartoons and playing video games, both things created by artists. The opinions of others. Upvotes and downvotes doesn't correlate with correctness. Their open-mindedness. A lot of them are in an echo chamber of no change. This doesn't fall in line with the other things I read confirming my opinion. I don't care for it. Pretty much everything, frankly, be it relationships and advice pertaining thereto. Thinking other posters are in the US. Prices. Availability of goods. What stores exist where. The law. Chemical reactions. Mental illnesses. Illness and health in general. Understanding sub-rules. I find that smaller, more niche subs are best for advice. When it comes to more general things, it's just usual social media where being more outrageous is more entertaining, or people just don't know what they are talking about. Everyone on Reddit is male : and that if you're not a man, you're an idiot. Thinking everything is abuse, especially in relationships. The A to sub will see a post that's like, my girlfriend called me a shithead, in the comments will be like, that's emotional abuse. You need to break up with her before she takes your kids away from you. ATA is the Reddit equivalent of trash daytime TV. Usually a coin flip on what the consensus on any given situation will be, including similar situations. No consistency or anything. That's what makes it so funny though. How easy it is to change the current state of the world. Just divest from oil, just give everyone UB. There are huge externalities to these suggestions and they are anything but straightforward. Along the same lines, how needed government is to structure society. It would be insanity to cut government as much as a lot of Redditors and conservatives think is appropriate. Yes, even in super fucked up countries where the government is openly corrupt. Corrupt government still keeps things relatively organized. Look at Indonesia. Oh, and the fact that if you donate to a charity at the grocery store checkout or whatever, the company cannot use it as a tax write-off. Every single thread about soliciting donations has this as one of the top comments. It's transparently illegal and doesn't happen. Any suggestion beginning with just is likely to be oversimplified. Imo. It's based on the premise that the listener must have been too dumb to think of something obvious, which is seldom the case. The education system of the USA. Lots of sweeping pronouncements about the fundamental nature of a thing which, in reality, doesn't exist. So there is no education system in the US? Most people in the US are actually doing pretty okay. They are buying houses, using employer-subsidized insurance, saving for retirement, raising kids, paying off student loans, and going on vacation. You are right. Hard stop. And I'm someone who is pretty damn critical of the US. Our quality of life is insane compared to a huge portion of the world. I guess the thing that keeps me on the criticism train is how much better things could be considering the amount of wealth and land we have access to. It's a bit frustrating. Capitalism. I'm pretty sure less than 1% of the users on Reddit, and Americans and humans overall, have ever taken an entry-level micro and macroeconomics class in high school or college. It's treated as a nebulous political buzzword here. Yep. All rich people are a-holes and we should take their money and give it away. If the motivation to start a company is to make money and you remove that from the equation, guess what? No companies and no economy. What the most 80s sounding 80s song is? That was an interesting thread. I've seen a fair number of Redditors, mostly outside of the pregnancy related subs, view a woman's biological clock in a very black and white way. Fertility does decrease with age, but for most people it isn't a switch that just flips off at 35. It's more of a continuum rather than a cliff and varies from person to person. Additionally, sperm quality also declines with age, which is often ignored in these discussions. I thought the switch and biological clock referred to menopause. It meant 35ish this whole time? Making whole assumptions about a country and its people based off a handful of select viral clips. It goes beyond Reddit. It's just a general problem of people on the internet thinking they can sum someone up through a screen. So many people on Reddit play detective and therapist on someone's post when they have limited information and never met the person in real life. They are just so nitpicky about everything too. Many people on Reddit love poking holes in people's posts and dissecting their claims as well as passing judgment as easily as breathing. Can get very insufferable. Okay, rant over. My funniest one was commenting on the physical therapy sub after I switched careers to medical coding. Someone looked at my most recent posts and discovered that I was only a coder. I pointed out that I worked as a PT for almost 10 years before switching careers. An old fish swims by two young fish and asks how's the water boys. One young fish asks the other what the hell is water? Reddit often can't see the water. Almost everything. Everything. Relationships. Health and nutrition, especially the BMI. It's pseudoscientific in general, but does not distinguish between fat and muscle, nor does it take into account modern understanding of biology. Anything that requires experience or wisdom to figure out. Anything concerning the Bible. I wish I had $1 each time someone quoted a verse out of context, or just went full Simone Biles with mental gymnastics trying to squeeze justification for their lifestyle out of a verse that is very clearly irrelevant. Refusing to accept that other people are allowed to have opinions that differ from their own.